And we are live.
We are live.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Daphne.
Good morning. Good morning, Nita. It's Friday.
It is. Oh, thank you. God. All right. It is Friday, May 27th, 2022. And I almost said 21 for some reason.
Right. Yeah. So, because again, time has no relevance here. We need post-its just to tell us what day it is.
And that is my phone and not a vibrator.
Yes.
And we'll be right back after this intro. Good morning, everyone. Oh my God, I gotta find this shit. All right,
Oh, there we are. There we are. And yes, and for everybody, the Friday post-it is out today. There we go. So that's how we know. That's how we keep time here. That's how we keep track of time here. Because even with a calendar right here, I need a post-it to tell me what day it is. Oh my goodness. But yeah, shout out to George Medina. I mean, Wonder Dog has 6 more days to go, last I checked, and $400 left to make it to 5K. You know, it's like I
am stoked for him. His backer count, though.
No, really.
He had 120 backers last I checked.
Yeah.
It was like, holy crap, dude, you're killing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, we have to talk to you again about your campaign afterwards, because, we talked about it before. Now we need to strategize afterwards because, I mean, not only is this your first campaign in 5-6 years, but it's like, it's going to be honestly a 5K campaign, right? And not only that, but George was actually able so far to avoid the plateau.
Yeah, he never plateaued.
Yeah, he kept it consistent, the movement up, consistent on his campaign.
And his conversion for signups was insane.
Yeah, so really, it's like, congratulations, George. Yeah, we can't wait to talk to you again about what you learned afterwards, although maybe we should wait until after you fulfill and see how that goes, because that's where we learn a lot about ourselves during fulfillment. So on that note, good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon for the brunch crowd. Welcome everybody who's watching us. Welcome everybody in the chat. Who's in the chat, Nita?
Let's see. We got Jody McPhee, Mike Jimmy, Mr. Carl Witzman.
Oh, very nice.
And Brian said his peoples are coming.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, and also just to give everybody a heads up, the cable company is working on Nita's cable in her neighborhood. So if she kind of her signal gets a little wonky, it's because of that. So she might go all symbol on us depending on how bad it gets, because you can go.
I am forever Cox blocked.
There we go. Absolutely. Yes. Because they could go all week with nothing happening. And it's like the second we want to live stream, that's when they decide they want to fix everything. So just to give everybody a heads up. So hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992 because I have nowhere else to go. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy Tall Tales, which is in pre-launch right now. So you can click on the notification bell to get notified. Well, click on the notification button to get notified when the campaign goes live on June 13th. I even forgot my own date, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
That's correct.
So, yeah. Okay. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera, Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, my obsession du jour right now. So you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales Online, TAILS online.com, and eagleworks.com, EGOWRKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at my own channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which is also simulcast to the Ragin 2 network. And if you are watching us from regions beyond, from Facebook, from Twitter, from wherever else you might see this link, come on over to Facebook. Join the sexy people in the chat. They love to talk to everybody. So come on over, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you get notified whenever us or any of our copious shows on this network goes live, so you don't miss a thing. So Nita, tell the peoples who they are.
Who you are. Who they all about themselves.
Well, well, yes, I'm sure you can, but actually tell the people who you are so that they know who they're being told by.
My name is Nita Lanning. I am a writer, vlogger, blogger from Southeast Louisiana. I am the executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
There we go. And you got your walk today, too?
I did.
Right, yeah.
In a icy shower.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. It's like, welcome, Nicholas. Yes, Carl, I am always having one of those Fridays. By the time, yeah, it's like there's just something about Friday that I don't know. But really, though, yes. Whoa, hey.
Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, we do. Like I said, I'm always having those Fridays. I'm always having those Mondays. I'm always having that type of week. So, that's how it goes. So do we have any housekeeping that we have to take care of before we get started?
Well, considering this is our pre-porn show.
Oh, there we go. Yes, tomorrow, already the last Saturday of the month. Can you believe it? House of Bob, Drawing Night Stream. Join me and Nita as we have some adults only, but really fun conversations from 10 p.m. to midnight tomorrow as I draw some, dirty art for your pleasure. And tomorrow our topic is going to be Rule 34 and why we're so obsessed with the sex lives of cartoon characters. So join us for a great conversation tomorrow. Oh my goodness, because it's like, oh yes, and speaking of fulfillment, right? Speaking of fulfilling our needs. Oh, the segues keep coming. Save 5% on your next Gemini mailer order with our coupon code RAGIN2. I mean, we're selling boutique items. Your comics are expensive enough as is. Send them to your pledgers in style in a Gemini mailer. And if you want to ask a question, have a comment for us, or you have something you want us to hear us talk about on the show, email us at raginabc@gmail.com. There is no such thing as a dumb question, but our answers might be, because we're here to entertain. But yes, so today is So here we go. Here we go again. We are now back in the deli, aren't we? 2 subs in a deli. So there we have it. Yes. So it's So it's Friday again. I'm a little, the end of the month always puts me on edge. Because it makes me realize like how much stuff I didn't accomplish.
Right.
So Nita, so what were you, so did you kind of like do what you set out to do this month, or are we behind like everybody else?
I'm caught up on a lot of things. I've been putting it off. Like I keep saying, I'm going to go add the disclaimer in all the individual videos, and eventually I am going to do that. I typed it up and everything. Right. Got to warn people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny. It's like how just like television, we have to explain to everybody that yes, we have a lot of shows on our network, but not everything that you hear is. I guess
a reflection of the network overall. Not even what I say, and I run this bitch. Don't listen to me.
Right. Yeah. So it's right. Yeah. It's like it's just one of those things where we have to remind somebody that because someone is on our network doesn't mean that we agree with everything they say or we condone everything they say. So if you get your panties in a wad, I don't need a DM every time. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, it's like it's a little surprising when people do DM to complain about something on someone else's show, because it's like, Mom. That's what sounds. That's what kind of sounds like to me. I'm gonna tell Mommy on you. And remember, we are not your mommies.
And my boys are all the way across the country from me. It's not like I could spank them.
Oh, right. Exactly. As much as we would get super chats really quickly with that, but that's a different conversation. So, so that's just kind of weird when people do that. So, so remember, we are not your mommies, but we are your comic book aunties that are happy to see you go home at the end of the day. So, I got it's probably Amazon. That's we can make them. We can let them wait. They can put. What's funny? They don't ring the bell at any other time. I could be like any other time. They just leave the box there. And that's the end of it. But like, again, it's like the second we're streaming, they want to press all the buttons and make all the noises and, the whole thing. It's just the mailman. So he could just leave the package there. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of packages, JD got his notification from the printer. So we will be getting our Oswald books. Hopefully by either today or tomorrow. This is not it because it was the postman. And that also included in that order is the 10 sketch covers that I miscounted on my own campaign. So if you are waiting for your package from the Eagle Raven 4 campaign, the sketch covers are coming in this week. I will be trying to be working on them as soon as I get them this week. Today's Friday. There is no this week. It's either today or Monday. So if you're still waiting for a package, I'm getting the sketch covers. I'll be working on them the second I get them, and then hopefully by next week I'll have all of the last of the 10 covers, the 10 packages that I have remaining out of here. So so that will completely finish my campaign for Eagle Raven.
Yeah, because she's like, has Miss Daphne sent my package yet?
Right.
It's like, not yet, baby. Not yet.
No. And I have her comp copies. I have, she has a stack of trading cards just for her. So, she has, I just, honestly though, I just really want to thank you and Jaden. Well, because you kind of facilitated the whole thing. But, I just want to thank you for it. And if you can kind of see it over here, I have it on display right here next to Mary Bellamy. for doing this variant cover for me. I mean, I am still thrilled with the way it came out. Everybody,
you're thrilled. My first comp was for you, dude. It was like, holy shit.
You know, I mean, everybody who's been getting their packages have been really, really enjoying. Just see, like when they hashtag us, it's like that's the cover that they prominently display in their photos. So it's like, yeah, it's just like my issue 4 cover is behind it, but no, the Jaden cover has to get front and center, and I absolutely love it. So we're gonna see if we can get another one out of her for issue 5. So we'll see.
She actually came asking last night.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, we're gonna try to challenge her a little bit. We have a guest. We have a surprise guest today. Oh, this is look.
Oh shit!
Look,
what up?
Look at this. So this is what came in the mail today. Speaking of which, look at this beautiful combo right here. So look at this. So for all of you who don't know, this is our rewards for Life on Quora. I think what issue? Tiny Travels. I don't know if Mike, do you go by issues or just go by titles? I don't remember. So yeah, so this is Life on Quora, Tiny Travels, where I did this really cool variant cover, for it. I mean, it's really cute. I really enjoy the way how it came out. And look at this. Look at this. Wow. I mean, this is, look at that. This is
sweet.
Look at that. That is so beautiful. Look, it's like, yeah, we definitely have to find a place for it. But so there you go. We have so Mike, Jimmy, are people able to purchase this now? Oh, you go by the title. So there we go. Are people able to purchase this separate from the crowdfunder? Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. The ears are posable. Look at that. They got, look at that. I mean, very, very nice. Yes, very nice. And it feels so soft too. Absolutely. Nice. I mean, really, it's funny. Mike has been showing this off in his videos for like the last month or so. And you really need to see this in person. You really need to see this. So there you go. So if you're interested in getting your own griffin, I don't know what you call these. I know it looks like a griffin, but I know it's not a griffin. And your own copy. I don't know if you have. You probably have. I think you said you had a little bit more of the variant covers. But oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to put up another shelf to be able to put this up there, up on the wall somewhere. I mean, this is very nice, very nice. So yeah, so go over to fairiesandents.com. The link is in the chat. We'll also make sure to put it in the show notes. But really though, you have to see this in person. Like I said, I've been seeing this on video because, of course, absolutely, Mike has been showing this off. But no, this is a lot nicer than what I was expecting. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but this is a lot nicer. You really have to see this in person. Nicholas, save that for tomorrow night.
This is the pre-porn game show, dude.
Yes, it is. Yes. So there we have it. So here is our guest.
Round 3. Let's see if I can give myself a heart attack today.
Oh, why? How many? Is that what your 4th monster?
No, actually, it's only the 2nd.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh,
so how exciting! How exciting! So they're actually, you know what? For in honor of Mike, I'll put it right there right now. There we go. Okay, so you pretty much got your stuff, most of your stuff done for the month, right? Yeah, I mean, does anybody else go through that, like that last of the month panic when it's like you start going over your schedule for next month, for every month. I mean, because it's like, yeah, ever since I don't know. It's like she keeps changing her office. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, Jake,
no, what happened?
She's been switching. She's probably tried being on every wall of that office for like the past couple of weeks.
Well, I was over there. No, we explained, because it's like I have a lot of adult content that my children don't need to see. It gets hot as hell in here. I'm in a closet, people, with a ton of fucking electronics all around me. It gets hot fast. It is 82 degrees outside already. Ooh. And this is an outside wall. So this room just gets super, super hot. It's not even a room. It's a closet. Right. And when I'm on this wall, I want to leave the door open during the day. The kids see the computer screen before I see them. So it works for me because I see my kids coming. So I can be like, stop right there, or I can close my screen out.
Right. Yeah. You have that, and you have that police tape on the floor or something.
Yeah, there's like a do not cross line.
Yeah. And speaking of variant covers, so Joe D. McPhee is running his campaign for Amazonia issue 7, where I have a variant cover on his Virgin, I guess the Virgin variant. I have a cover for him. So yes, so if So Joe, if you haven't put in a link to Amazonia
right now,
yeah, we'll put that there too. It was a very nice cover to do. Joe loves to make me work outside of my comfort zone, and we were both very pleased with the results. So head on over to Kickstarter to pick up Amazonia issue 7. And pick up my variant cover while you're at it. So for me, I'm kind of like doing a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, and I've yet to finish any of them, because it's like, what is it, jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. It's been that type of month. So it's like I'm on page 20 of laying out Eagle Raven issue 8. That's how far ahead I'm trying to get myself. Let's see. So I still am working on the Eagle Raven Oswald crossover story. I'm coloring it in right now, so I'm just slowly getting through that. This is why your actual book should be finished before you launch a campaign, because you don't want to be doing this. This is just a bonus story that
that's the same thing that slowed Mare down, right? Was the bonus stories. She did it as an add-on to the compendium, the 5 little shorts if you book the highest tier.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, so it's like I'm still working on it. Yes. So everybody who supported both the Eagle Raven campaign and the Oswald Chronicles campaign, the second I have this done, everyone will get this story in their email box. So I am working on it. But next time I'm going to make sure these things are actually done. If I do another bonus like this, it's like I'm going to make sure they're actually done before I make any announcements on a campaign. But I want to thank everybody for their patience. Everybody, thank you for your support. I'm good for this. This story's coming. So that should be so I'm in the middle of that. I have 3 other stories that I'm in the middle of coloring and getting through, and it's just like, it's just a lot. And yes, and it's like, and if Glenn is floating around there somewhere, I still have to finish the article that I promised him for his Comics Unlimited magazine, which he graciously also gave me the cover for. So I'm working on a very special cover for him as well, which I'm sure he'll appreciate considering his interest. Oh, thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. I mean, I don't consider myself the hardest working, but I'm one of, I guess. It's like I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, but I need to get this stuff done. It's like, but thank you though. I try. The last 2 years have really I don't know. It's like I've just had a fire under my butt these past 2.5 years, and I'm just, the trick is trying to keep this momentum going. you know. But yeah, and of course, because all us creatives are like this. Of course, it feels like we're not doing enough, right? It's like my schedule is completely slammed. There's a whole bunch of other things I have to do for it. There's a couple of commissions that I have a waiting list for that I promised people that the second I had time to do them, I will contact them to get these commissions started for them. That's why also I don't, if anybody comes to me for a commission, unless I actually can start the piece, I do not take any money up front. So yeah, because in that way, if there's a delay, I'm not tying up your money. It's just like when I can actually put pencil to paper, that's when we start talking money. So I have that.
That's so cute. No, it'll be here, and it'll be here by next weekend.
Oh, right,
it does. Like once it hits Baton Rouge, that's it. It's
this huge delay, right?
Yeah.
Along with your mail person trying to do cardboard origami, with your packages.
Bitch has the talent. She's been a Gemini twice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's, you see, which is, I mean, we did an entire episode about packing your products properly, to mitigate stuff like this. I mean, it's like, don't just put your stuff in a mailer with a little like chipboard and think that that's going to do it. No, you kind of have to pack.
And I'm sad because
what happened?
A particular person that I backed that I know watches the show and I know has heard us complain, still decided to ship their stuff in an less than
ideal
packaging. Yeah.
No, that some people have to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm jealous that you got your novel from Stone.
Yeah, I did. Except C has it now.
Oh,
okay. I would totally show it off, but C already picked it up and started reading it. So
right, yeah, it's like we have because it's like I'm really looking forward to reading that. Oh, it's behind you.
No, it's not. Oh, fuck me, man.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so Nicholas, I have a question for you ladies and the chat. How do you handle folks who have projects who they want you to promote, but have art that is frankly subpar? Oh,
I very politely ignore the messages.
Oh no. I mean, it depends. It depends, honestly. I mean, that is that is an awkward situation for anybody to be put in.
Very.
But let's talk about Stone first, and then we can talk about
this book is bigger than I thought for one.
Right, exactly. That's what she said. Uh-huh.
Anyway, damn it, Daphne. Fuck.
Sorry. I'm prepping for tomorrow. I'm prepping for tomorrow night.
His fucking cover is amazing. This feels like fucking satin almost. It's weird, but it's thick, and I don't know. It's just it's amazing. It's amazing.
Right? Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also it's like, and he packed it. Yeah, he packed it in a box and packed it in a bubble, and but even in the bubble, it's like, oh, what does it say? No! I'm not gonna read it.
Well, fuck me, man.
Right,
we're done.
Yeah. Okay, so Joe says that he can't find washi tape. So just buy it off Amazon. Just buy. That's what I did. I bought I don't know. It's like 10 rolls for like $20 or something. So you can just get it at that. Of course, the fancier the washi tape, the more expensive it'll be. Like they have washi tape with gold foil on it and everything. So, so why don't we just We're at the top.
Throw
Well,
some
we're
bumps.
at the half hour. Throw some bumps, and then we'll answer. We'll try to answer Nicholas, and then we'll talk
Cool down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta save ourselves for tomorrow night.
Save myself.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Cast the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Welcome, welcome, welcome! I am Karen Cole, and this is Fire Bitch 3. Thanks for checking out the campaign. We have a fantastic Fire Bitch book with all the bonus swag you know and love. Action, drama, excitement. Our badass babe fights an intergalactic war with a world in the balance. You will love the art and the story. We have some explosive variant covers by us, as well as some smoking guest artists, red hot add-ons, special tiers, and sparkling stretch goals. And the cosplay! Woo! Get excited! You're not gonna want to miss this fiery campaign we lovingly put together just for you.
Smoking. So as always, links to everything that we have, I guess, for the promos for in the chat and also in the show notes. So yeah, Nicholas, that is an awkward position to be put in. But in the end, though,
I'm still not right.
Well, you know, I mean, in the end, though, I mean, depending on who it is, I mean, it doesn't kill anybody to be kind. You know, it doesn't. You know, it's like it doesn't hurt you to just I'll put up a link. You know, it's like I'll do it's like let me just repost this on my page or whatnot. It's like it doesn't kill you to do that.
No.
Because it's like it's like because in the end though, it's like what's considered subpar. Although we think, it's like the, oh, I know bad art when I see it type of thing. Ask 10 people what a bad comic book is, and you will get 10 different answers. Or you might get 20 different answers on it.
Yeah, I don't ever want to be that show that excludes people.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's people there is like, please don't ask my opinion when we're live.
Right.
But everybody deserves to be shared. I mean, if they're fucking getting the work done,
right.
Like I don't want to be that show that's like, well, you don't meet my standards. No,
right.
Dude, you know what? Fuck it. You may not meet my standards, but you might meet somebody else's.
Right. I mean, yeah, and it's like, and not only then, it's like, it's kind of like the whole thing where somebody
Art
said,
is subjective.
It's very subjective. I mean, it's like, yes, it's like, as professionals, we do have a certain eye for things. But like I said, at the same time, I mean, yeah, someone did the work. Someone's coming up to you saying, hey, can you just spread the love a bit? And it's like, you know what? There's no reason for me to say no. And it's like, you know what? And usually they're more than happy to do the same thing with your stuff. So I guess it's like, to try to keep things positive. It's like, it's not going to kill you, if you know the people and whatnot. It's like, just like it doesn't hurt to just show a kindness,
Right.
And that's also the thing too. It's like, unless they're asking you for your critique, your actual critique, it's kind of like, I mean, it's like, look at it this way. I mean, there are people who probably look at my work and wonder what the heck I'm doing. It's like, why am I getting attention? There are people who probably look at other people's stuff. Every one of us, we have at least one person looking at us going, your stuff sucks. Why are you doing this? And it's like, well, okay, then it means that you're not buying it and I'm not worrying about you. Again, to bring up, very paraphrase Marcus Aurelius, he was talking about how, how we love ourselves so much, that it's like we have such a high opinion about ourselves, yet we value the opinion of others above ours. And yeah, and it's like, it's kind of like, okay, well, why should I care about your opinion about my artwork? It's like, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing what I want to do. If you don't want to buy it, that's you. That's a you thing. So don't buy it. It's like, I will find somebody will come to me who wants my book. And honestly, it's like 175 of you wanted issue 4. So you know what, wanted my books. So I'm not going to concern myself with the one person who decided that this is garbage. Right. And so yeah, so that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, it's very easy to be cynical. It's very easy. Do I have my moments? Yes, I do. Do I have my really catty bitchy moments? Absolutely. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we're all in this together. And there's no, I don't feel like there's a purpose to go out and and knock people down for a standard that in the end has nothing to do with you. I mean, they're just asking you to share some links. There's going to be people who are going to love it. There's going to be people who are going to hate it. Like I said at the beginning, like we said at the beginning of the show, it's like, it's like just because we talk about something or someone on the network talks about something doesn't necessarily mean we endorse it. It doesn't necessarily mean we, like, oh, it's like you're promoting this book. And it's like, well, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, look, we're not forcing you to buy it.
Right.
We're just telling you about it.
Hey, look, this is out there. What you do with that is on you.
Exactly. I mean, it's like we have all these links in the chat, all these links in the show notes. People are going to decide which books they want to support and which books they don't want to support. So that's kind of how I look at it. It's trust me, it's very, if you caught me in a catty mood, I would have had a completely different opinion on this. But I'm really, really trying to kind of, not get swallowed up into negativity. We've spent enough time with that.
That's my thing. Like, I was watching this, like, okay, we were so happy, Daphne. Right. We were always positive and perky, and then we just had this like downfall, and like there was some bad shit and whatever, right. And it's like it puts you in a mood.
Well, yeah.
Like, everything changed, and it's like, you know what? No, I want that back. I want to be back in where I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Right, exactly. I mean, there are other people that we can get back to that feeling with,
Right.
So yeah, and I'd rather, so I guess to be specific to Nicholas's question, unless they actually did something bad to you,
Yeah, unless they're a dick.
Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't just share a link.
Yep, one rule: don't be an asshole.
That really, you would think that would be an easy, it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like, don't be an asshole. It's that easy of a thing that people, that people seem to still have a problem with, but yeah, you know what? It's like, let's, well, yeah, well, that's a different, yeah, that definitely is a different conversation. Well, right, because not everything is going to be your jam. That's the thing. I mean, I'm
like, don't ask me live. Don't ask.
Right. It's like, look, I've shared campaigns that I personally wouldn't spend money on, but I know other people will. So why, so again, it's like, it doesn't do anything to me. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg, to share out a link. That was Thomas Jefferson, I think, by the way.
Yeah, why not share a little love?
Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's enough going on. There's enough negativity going on. Let's not add to it.
Right.
So, yeah. So the thing I mean, I know that we could continue talking about that, but I at least wanted to get to the topic of the show, because you had put it in the title, so now I feel obligated to talk about it, even though I was going to talk about it anyway.
Edit the title and we can make it next Friday's title,
right?
Hey.
Because so Stone, so you got your book from Stone, which again I'm so looking forward to getting, and I've had this, so I guess it's like, this is going to be a quick conversation about a useful tool that I didn't realize how useful it was. Yeah, I know. We try to have a topic. I didn't realize how useful it was until I paid for the full version for the year. And so I was originally using an app called Grammarly, which I'm sure everybody's heard of. Right. And mind you, this is not sponsored or anything or whatnot. And I was using it mostly for spell check or whatnot. I like the way that, I'm typing on Facebook and Grammarly kind of like gives me, it's like, oh, you spelled this wrong, and, maybe remove that. It's just giving little tips. Right. So I was talking to Nita, and she was talking about somebody running stories through it. And I knew that Grammarly could do that, but never thought about it until she mentioned it. That's kind of funny how sometimes that works, that it's like, we're just doing our thing, and then Nita mentions something, and I'm like going, oh, like it finally gets through. So I decided to take a leap of faith, and I paid for the full version for the year, and I started running my stories through it, my short stories through it, and within the first several paragraphs, it was worth its weight in gold, to be hyperbolic about it, to just it was literally worth having the full version. So Grammarly, I guess I guess it's an AI that does it, that goes through your text and tries to really sort out, it edits your work. It does kind of like a rough edit. And the thing is, though, just because I'm using a program, and this is also the pitfall that I want to make sure that if you decide to, no, Nicholas, you did not pull us off topic. Like I said, it's like, if we could have continued talking about it, it's like, it's just, it's just that, I come in with an idea and then we just go with the flow. And your question was too good to ignore. So, there we go.
And we only sell 6.
Right, exactly. And that'll be tomorrow. We're saving those for tomorrow. And that's the thing with using apps like these, or any type of spell checker program or any type of grammar program, is that it's not about running your story and letting the AI do everything for you. You still have to double check what it's asking you to change.
Right.
And
because it will always do its as a contraction on Grammarly.
Right, you
almost
have to be careful.
always.
Yeah. Oh, and also Patrick, it's Grammarly. I think it's like Grammarly.com. It's that simple. There's a free version that you can use, and then it's like you just pay. You can upgrade to
I'll put the link in
to
the
the
chat.
full version. Yeah. So the thing is that so I'm running my first story through this, and now I've been obsessing about these stories for a bit. You know, it's like I said, it's like I do these little vignettes, you know, just hashing out like little bits and pieces of like scenes from Eager Raven that didn't make it into the main storyline, but I still want to keep them around and kind of massage them into something, you know, that I could use and expand on, you know, because then it's like you learn more about the characters without it affecting the main storyline. But it that type of thing. So I ran one of the stories through it, and it fixed up a lot of sentences that had been really, really bothering me for a while, but I just couldn't hammer them out. And like one of my things that I realized that I do in my writing is that I use like a lot of like weak words, like a lot of wishy-washy words. Also I have a problem keeping my tenses straight. You know, past tense, future tense. So am I talking about now? And the thing is, it kept complaining that I use too much passive voice, which I'm still trying to figure out what that means really. So, hey,
Good morning.
Rose. Good morning. So like I said, I ran this story through Grammarly, and I was just like, this it's like, yeah, no, for real. It's like, it was just like, where was this? Why didn't I start using this sooner? And it made me so excited for writing prose again. That you know how you guys, you know how I'm always mentioning about like some future stories that I'm working on where I can't decide whether to do comics or prose, or how to make, you know, how to do both at the same time. And I keep getting a lot of conflicting information about that. So it's like, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this? But this whole thing has me very excited about doing prose again. And I'm like going, you know what? I smell illustrated novels in my future. If I really, really wanted to get these stories out, I might experiment with that in probably the Tales from the Outer Kingdom trades, where I'm putting in all the comic short stories in, that maybe putting in also some of those illustrated prose stories in them to kind of like mix it up a bit. And it's just like, I was just really surprised at how well this program was working for me. I mean, it was making so many really, really good suggestions, and word swap outs, which would change context just with one word, and it would be like, yeah, that's what I was trying to get.
It made your sexy sexier.
Right, it really did. It really did. Well, that both literally and figuratively, when I start running the dirty stories through it. I was just checking all my stories through it. So that's what I was like. So every chance I got, I was running a story through Grammarly and really going through it. So, yeah. So if if you guys want to experiment more with it's like, yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I remember when Richard and Wendy Peeney did an illustrated novel for ElfQuest. I think it was through Playboy Publishing, where they took the first graphic novel and they turned it into a prose book, and it had illustrations in it and everything. And it was just like, yeah, I kind of regret at one point getting rid of it, but I don't know if it was one of those books that got lost in the great mouse plague of the before times. So I don't know. I don't know. Well,
actually, we absolutely agree with you there.
Yeah.
And that's why we're saying even if you do use the program, you have to go back and read because you're going to have patterns of speech that are different that the AI is going to try to correct to simplify your dialogue or whatever, but that's not what you're going to want for that particular character.
Right. Exactly.
You got to watch it with contractions, especially like it doesn't know the difference between it and it is, or it's and it is, and it's there's you definitely have to overwrite the AI.
Oh, no, absolutely. You have to.
It does help.
That you still need more eyes on it. You know, it's like I think that what the AI does is that it just helps me get through the initial draft better. And then it's like, you know, and eventually everything, you know, it's going to get, you know, like Nita's going to end up reading it or whatnot. And there's going to be more human eyes on it. But I was running one story through it. And there's this line that I have, I have Loki and Eros, my two characters, that they kind of have a habit of saying, you know, we have all the time in the world. You know, because they're gods. So it's like there's just something funny about them saying that we have all the time in the world. It's like, yeah, of course you do, you know. And the AI kept telling me to just say we have all the time. And I'm like going, no, you're ruining the vibe of the phrase. You know, you're ruining the context. That's not what they're
gods
saying.
For fuck's sake.
Right. They have to say we have all the time in the world. Like it's very specific. And every time it wants me, no, shorten it. I go, no. And I had to there comes a point where it's like you can tell it to stop correcting that line. And yeah, you have to, and there's some other, like, especially if you have characters that speak really informally or use certain types of slang that it tries to formalize. And it's like, no, you have to skip those two. So you really do have to keep an eye on it. There is no, it's kind of like people who think that Photoshop does all the work for you. It's like, no, it doesn't. It's like, absolutely, it does not. That's why it's taking me so long to color these things. So because of that, so I think like in honor of using
a story time.
I feel like because the last time I read some of my prose, people seem to like it. So I have a story that I think people will like, especially Joe. So so I have, and so pretty much I'm kind of like, so I think everyone will like this story, but I'm dedicating this to Joe because of something that he said to me during one of my streams when I was coloring in actually the comic book story that I based on this. No, I wish there was, right? Just like how on CSI there is no enhance button in Photoshop. So this is a story this is probably the first vignette that I wrote, technically, that I decided to convert into a comic book story. And it really did, that whole process is teaching me the difference between like converting prose into a comic book, what has to get cut out, what gets lost in translation. So it was a very interesting experiment. I think probably what I'm going to do is when I'm done coloring up that story and it gets offered up, I'm going to offer up the prose story so that you can kind of see the comparison between the two. Because, this was kind of like the only story that I made that direct translation to. So I was coloring in one of the pages to this story, and it was a panel of Igor Raven going through a bookcase. And Joe was all commenting about, she gets to read to her heart's content and all that. And it's like, you know what? I need to read this story. So for Joe, this is for you. So this is my little vignette. It takes place, just to put in it a little perspective. So most everybody got issue 4. It kind of takes place at the kind of like around the beginning of issue 4 when Igor Raven starts her training as a night, and Johar, Daniel, and Morgan are beginning to put her through her paces. And yeah, so this story kind of happens around that point. Oh, hold on, I got a lot of dander here for some reason. So okay, so the name of the story is called Book. Eager Raven quietly closed the door to her room and was about to make her way back down the stairs when a creak caught her attention. She looked over and noticed the unlocked door to Daniel's room was slightly open. It creaked again as a breeze slightly moved it. Her ears twitched as she contemplated the door, knowing that she was the only one upstairs, with everyone else working in the forge. Usually, Eager Raven knew better and ignored such things, but her curiosity got the better of her at that moment. She looked at the stairs and perked her ears, listening to the work of the men downstairs echoing. She turned back, looked at the door, and lightly placed her hands on its handle. The door opened further at her slightest touch, initially revealing a room not that much dissimilar to hers. It was a simple setup with a neatly made bed, a desk, a chair, and several trunks for storage. The door to the shared terrace was ajar, the source of the breeze. She stepped inside and noticed the little things that made the room Daniel's. Several drawn images hung in frames on his wall. She took a closer look and made out figures in a garden. They were a combination of humans and animal people, and her head tilted as she studied them. The others were variations on the same theme, with some just being portraits of specific individuals: 2 women, a large bearded man, a fox woman. In the corner of each image was scrawled the name, Annie. His desk was covered in papers, all in different stages of writing. Eager Raven poked at one of them, but could not make out the scrawling. She wondered if the script had anything to do with the people in the pictures. She went to the terrace door and gently pulled it closed, almost afraid that someone may hear it click. The unicorn turned at the bed, then slowly made her way to it. It was precisely the same as hers, but she sat on its edge, trying not to disturb the sheets. She took a deep breath, taking in his scent, with her ears twitching at the effort. At last, the bookcase in front of her caught her attention. It was the only thing in the room that was not repeated in hers. The muted yet colorful spines called her eyes, and she scanned them, turning her head to find something that she fancied to look at. Realizing she was too far away, she slid to the floor and sat, tucking her hooves under her and pulling at each book on the bottom shelf. The first book had ornate lettering that she found challenging to read, the blocks of text similar to the book of poetry that Johar insisted she should learn. Eager Raven thought herself clever, convincing him to read several poems aloud to her so that she would know how they were supposed to sound appropriately recited. But that was only going to last for so long. She pulled out another book. This one had a more straightforward writing style and longer paragraphs that she could somewhat recognize. The words that she could make out told her that this was some kind of narrative. An odd-sized book caught her attention, and she slowly pulled that one off the shelf. This one was mostly illuminated pictures similar to the ones on the wall. She turned the pages to find images of castles and members of royalty. She made out some words as names, followed by blocks of text she couldn't make out. Turning the page revealed images of knights in armor, a round table, a chalice of some kind. Eager Raven was entranced by the pictures and the silver ink that seemed to gleam off the page. She didn't notice the door to the room open. "Oh, hey there." Eager Raven jumped at the voice, startled. She turned in surprise, her tail knocking over the pile of books she had carefully placed next to her. Daniel stood at the foot of the bed, watching her as she scrambled on the floor, snatching the scattered books, her eyes wide with embarrassment. I'm sorry, she blurted, averting her eyes. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm sorry. She felt a gentle hand on her shoulder as Daniel kneeled beside her. Eager Raven glanced at him and blushed, her ears drooping. The wind blew your door open, and it's okay, she heard him say as he began to help her gather up the books. It's okay. She looked up to find herself face to face with Daniel. He gave her a kind smile, and her face turned red in response, tears gathering at the edge of her eyes. I'm not supposed to be going through your things. Her tail twitched nervously. Daniel sat next to her on the floor. You were going through my books. That's different. He picked up the book with the knights. Did you like this one? He opened it up. I like this one too. It's the story of a great king and his circle of knights who go on a grand quest to find a magic chalice that could heal people. Eager Raven let out a breath as the calmness in his voice also began to calm her down. My friend Annie gave this one to me. She's always looking for books I'd like. She also made those pictures on the wall for me. Her ears perked forward as he continued talking to her. Did you like this one? He picked up the book of long words. Eager Raven shook her head. Daniel leaned over and wrinkled his nose. It's boring, he whispered, nudging her. Really dry history. He picked up the book of poetry. This one Johar would like if you would learn. It's all sonnets and songs. Would do you well. Oh, Eager Raven answered, trying to hide her displeasure. Daniel flipped through the pages and stopped. Here, read this one. He handed the book to her, and she reluctantly took it, looking at the marks on the page. Out loud, Daniel encouraged. Come on, recite a poem to me. Her ears pinned back, and she looked away. Maybe you could recite it to me so I know how it's supposed to sound. Daniel arched his brow. Johar did that for you the other night. You know how they're supposed to sound. That was Johar, Eager Raven answered. I don't know how they would sound coming from you. His nose wrinkled again, this time in confusion. But you're the one that has to learn. He stopped, noticing she was not looking at the book at all. His face softened. Eager Raven, he looked at her. Do you know how to read? I know how to read, she snapped, then quickly shrank. A little? She blushed again. A look of realization came over him. Oh, that explains it. Daniel nodded his head. You had us thinking you were just being difficult. Eager Raven felt like she was going to cry again. I'm not difficult, she whined. The book Johar had was hard for me. Daniel gave a sympathetic laugh and embraced her. Eager Raven gasped as her face touched his cheek and rested on his shoulder. She closed her eyes, breathing in the same scent from the bed on his tunic, and felt a warm blush cross her face. Just as she was about to lean in further into him, he gave her a gentle pat and separated. You could have just told us. It's not like a lot of people in this city can read. I mean, we taught Morgan. I just said I could read a little, she protested. Daniel smiled at her. Well, we need to teach you to read a bit more if you're going to be successful as a knight. He paused. Although I have to admit, I would have thought a princess would have been taught. Eager Raven shrugged. The tutors didn't think I really needed to. I was going to be married, so they felt I needed to learn how to take care of Rillian and run a palace household. Rillian was the one who insisted I learn to use a sword just so he could have someone to spar with that he liked. Daniel's lips twisted. Well, we're not short-sighted like the elves. No offense. None taken. Well, let's put these away and get back to your training. At least now we know what we're doing tonight. He put the books of sonnets in her hand. We'll have you reciting this to us in no time. They placed the remaining scattered books back on the shelf and then stood back up, looking at each other. Eager Raven hugged the book to her chest and shyly looked away from the blacksmith. As they made their way out of the room, Daniel stopped and backtracked to the shelf, quickly pulling out one of the books they had put back. He extended his hand, revealing it to be the picture book about the knights. Here, you said you liked this, so you can have it. Eager Raven smiled but hesitated to take the book. Are you sure? Daniel nodded and pressed the book into her hand. At least the pictures are pretty. Now get back downstairs before Johara thinks you're slacking off. Eager Raven snapped to attention and nodded, trotting out of the room. Daniel watched as she disappeared into the hallway, listening to her hooves on the stairs. He gave out a sigh and dropped his shoulders. Not as pretty as you, he whispered to the empty space where she had been, and wondered where the lingering smell of roses was coming from. So, Grammarly. So even reading that out loud, I caught sentences. I was like, oh, okay, I got to change this. I got to change this. I got to change this.
Right.
So either way, you're going to still have to actually edit your work. Thank you. So, and also let nobody ever accuse me of making a Mary Sue. So,
damn straight.
It's like, when was the last time you made your characters borderline illiterate? So I thought we'd have a little fun with that. Like I said, even reading it out loud, which is also a technique. Thank you. Patrick, yes, audiobooks is something that I have been practicing. It's still a little tricky to do. I do have a separate setup for that, with a proper microphone and a sound box and everything. So I have to, I kind of like, because also that's how I edit a lot of my stories too. I read them out, I record them, and then I put them on my phone, and then I just play them back to me. I swear, I practically know my stories, these stories by heart, because I've listened to them so much, and I edit them, each time I listen. Well, right. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like the inspiration for the story, actually, the inspiration from the story came with two things. Came from two situations. I was trying to read a book in Portuguese. And because for those of you who don't know, it's like I was born in Spain, kind of partially raised in Brazil, but I spent most of my time in the United States. So technically, I know two other languages poorly. So I was trying to read a book in Portuguese, and the overwhelm, it was pretty much the feeling of trying to struggle through these words. Like, I can hear them and I can understand them, but reading them is a different matter. And it's just like, it's kind of like if you went through learning a language, you're learning any language. And that's kind of like how it felt like. And I wanted to write a story about that feeling, of not being able to read. Like, I could function, I knew enough of the language to function, but if you had me sitting down and actually reading, it's like, I really, it was a hard time, it was going to be a hard time for me. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you. It was a book on Brazilian folklore. That's what it was. That's what I was trying to read, and I had a hard time. The other thing that that it was based on was the concept of flirting with books, which let's just say I have a personal personal thing with that. That's kind of like when me and JD early dating, and it's like, oh, it's like here's this book. Ooh, thank you. Which, by the way, in this specific scenario, it was at the Asgardian Wars, by Arthur Adams. The trade paperback. So so that book kind of has a very sentimental value to me because of that. Yeah. So that was, and also it's like combined with me just looking up research on just researching how how illiteracy was really common in the 12th century, and how like even nobles were not necessarily taught to read. And it's just a combination of things, and it just like pushly just okay, put that in the blender, put all that in the blender, and here's that story. so that's there we go. So that is one of the vignettes which will be available on a future campaign, probably for issue 5, where probably the stretch goal is going to be the comic book version of this story.
Nice.
Printed in the books. So, and maybe I'll do I'll offer up this book as either like a little zine or just a PDF for people to kind of like see the comparisons, because it's like I'm going through it, and it's like, and there's like all these little things that I wish I could portray in the comic version of it, but I can't, because it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. No, I am not going to draw. I'm not going to draw a panel of Eagle Raven sniffing his sheets. No, I'm absolutely not going to do that. Which is not what she does anyway. But it's like, how are you going to portray that in a visual medium? So there we go. On that note, we end on a nice little story time. Nice little positive, leaving on some positive energy. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed my little foray into prose, and well, maybe we'll do it again on another episode. Who knows? Who knows? It depends what I'm feeling like. So thank you again for everybody in the chat, keeping it lively. Thank you everybody who's watching from wherever you're watching from. Like I said, come on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, get notified whenever we go live. And and if you want to learn more about Eagle Raven and my artwork and all that stuff, go over to eagleworks.com, which is my main portfolio site, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social medias. But I mostly post to Facebook. Especially if you are into seeing, sketches, current work in progress, current campaigns, my little infamous doodles from Shay at Eagle Works. And again, you can check me out on my own YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art, which also streams through Ragin, where you can check out all of my semi-weekly live streams, where it's like you can watch me work, and we have a little convention powwow for
Don't forget tomorrow night.
Yes, and tomorrow night we will be doing House of Bob, the adults only drawing night stream, where I do more obviously adult oriented material, and me and Nita and the chat have more adult oriented conversations. But we have a good time. It's all in fun. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m. to midnight. So we'll see if I can get my red lights working tomorrow. It's I bought the special lights, but we'll see if we can get this place looking like a bordello or not. So we'll see. So Nita, tell where everybody they can find you.
On social media at C_chaos247 and on Facebook as Nita Lanning and wherever Ragin's going on.
Yeah. Thank you. There we go. So on that note, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. If you're joining us for House of Bob, you can catch me again on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman. And then we get to start the week all over again on Monday at 11 a.m.
And we will be having a guest this coming Monday. The guys from
Baby Barbarian.
Right? Yes, Mara.
Yeah, Baby Barbarian. So
yes, the Littlest Barbarian.
Oh, there we go. Littlest Barbarian. Yeah, I think Baby Barbarian might be another book, but it's like I apologize if I'm mixing up my barbarian books. So as always in the brand tradition, eat your food. Moisturize, especially the elbows, especially lately. My elbows definitely moisturize. Mind your business and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. And honestly, and I'm on last. It doesn't hurt at all to do a kindness for somebody. So share that link, share that post, share that, it's like, you know what? It's not hurting anybody, share other people's work. We all, we're one, let's be a community for a change. It's like, although don't be the crazy cat lady. We don't need another crazy cat lady. So we'll see you guys later.
Hit the button.
Bye.